go. It says we have 69 concurrent viewers. Oh, now there's 70. Way to go, number 70. Just kidding. Yeah, Corey, good idea with DKNG. I actually almost did the same, but I'm still holding it. Right now it's dipping under 50, so I'm gonna probably sell my holdings after a bounce. So whatever kind of red to green or sell off it has, then I'm gonna get out of this one. Calm down. All right, so first of all, guys, good morning. Welcome back to the stream. For all that's new, this is where we review the watch list every day, and then we trade the market open. Hope everyone's feeling good, ready to go. Small cap gappers aren't really that strong today so far. We'll talk about them in a second, but I'm not too blown away by them. VCNX popping up on the scanners right now, but such a small amount of volume. I don't know how we're going to treat this one. Anyway, though, guys, quick little housekeeping here. Today is Thursday, September 17th. It's 9:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got another 15 minutes before the market opens at 9:30, then we'll wrap up trading by 11 o'clock. Quick reminder for everyone that's new, this is for education and entertainment purposes only. My trades are quick and not meant to be followed. Always know yourself, why you're entering and exiting a stock. This community is a place for us to help each other. Please do not spam or you will be kicked. Check out the video description below, guys, for some FAQs. Yeah, let's keep going. Let's keep diving into the watch list here. VCNX, kind of interesting the way it's moving, but I really want to be focused probably on SRNE. Although I gotta say that 214 million float is a little bit uncomfortable. $2.1 billion market cap, so it's not a small cap lead gapper, our classic small cap lead gapper, right? We have, I think, traded this one in the past. Maybe not with this account. Let me quickly check if it was with my 25K or cash account. So yeah, we've traded this with the cash account in the past. Yeah, I would have to check on the day. I don't exactly recall how I did on this trading day. What was this? This was like in June. June was an okay month for me. So this one was crawling up pre-market and then, you know, it kind of fell off a cliff a little bit at the opening bell. Let's go to the 15 minutes, see if we can scroll back a bit further. Nice rally there. Should be popping up somewhere here. I think the next, here we go. Whew, just made it back far enough. So this was the last time we were trading this back in June. Looks like this was a 2-day runner actually. So we did a little bit of gap and go trading here. It looks like about the pullback, and then I got a little small trade here the next day. I gotta say though, this held its highs very well. This is when we were still having some really good gap and goes. Lately we haven't been having a lot of gap and goes. We've been having like pre-market gaps and then just selling off. So this is a classic, you know, gap, consolidation, market opens, and boom, go, right? Sometimes they do consolidate for like 15, 20, 30 minutes at the market open, but then they'll end up going. I mean, that's ultimately why this is called the gap and go strategy. Second day was gapping. This is the day it sold off quite a bit. Looks like we managed our risk okay on that. Bought a dip here. This is when we were still using smaller size. So how are we going to want to trade this one today? Well, you know, it's had a pretty strong move. It has a big float, but it does trade kind of like a small cap, so that's nice. It has the FDA clearance to proceed with phase 1 on a coronavirus antibody. Okay, so nice catalyst there, you know, macro and micro trend kind of news. I'm not really sure if this is a last ditch kind of effort here, you know, because at the same time, I do want to kind of point out that SRNE is a little bit on the backside of a very, very big move. So I think there's going to be a lot of back holders on this one. I'm not crazy stoked about trading this. I got to be honest. We have big resistance right around, I'd probably argue 11 and then again at $12. Some support around 10. I don't really see this one breaking above 12. If we do break above 12, which, could happen, there's going to be another big resistance at 14. That's only 15% away. So it's just a lot of resistance above. This thing is already quite extended from that low of 139. So I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I just don't really see this one, breaking past 18 or 20 today and being, a super great ticker. But at the same time, that's okay. You don't have to have a blowaway stock to make some really good trades off of it. I try to trade this one a little bit pre-market here on this bigger sell-off. Got it in my first size around 67 and kept on averaging down here as I had a feeling around 10.5 was going to be big support. This was an okay kind of move, and then I just closed out the whole position here at 59. My goal was actually to buy back on this candle, and I just missed my entry by 1 cent. I would have took profits at the 9 EMA, so that could have been a profitable trade, unless I waited a little hair too long, and then all of a sudden I'd be down 3%. Also tried to get an entry here at 27 and went down to 28. So I kept on missing my entry on SRNE, which is fine. Don't want to be overly aggressive pre-market, but got my feet wet a little bit with it, and I'm down here now about like $10. Oops, wrong account. Here, let's go to the unlimited account. So yeah, I'm down today about $10. We'll see what we do. Only one trade so far pre-market. Lately I've been trading a little bit more pre-market, so having only one trade in pre-market actually kind of feels a little bit weird, I gotta say. Brent says, so excited for me to trade this. We'll see. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe I'm not even going to trade it. This is definitely one of our top tickers, though. So it's definitely on the radar. We got another 8.5 minutes here. Let's talk about NAK first, and then we'll talk about maybe how we'd want to trade both of these tickers at the open. So NAK, 7 million float, New Zealand apparel manufacturer with upcoming conferences. Kind of a weird catalyst. It doesn't seem like anything new on that catalyst. I'm not, again, too excited about it. Right now, the price is about 122, so we're kind of stuck in this area where there's bigger support and resistance. I would really like to see this thing really break back above 122, go into the 1.3s, and then keep breaking from there. If we could have a move up higher from there, this thing could actually run quite nicely. It looks like 1.4 is a bit of a critical resistance zone, but at the same time, this thing could maybe run 25% before reaching super big resistance at about 1.5. So NAK, with that 7 million float, has more spike ability than SRNE, and that to me makes it a little bit more interesting. It's also a bit more of a classic small cap NAK, but still it has a 500 million float. So we're not really getting any small caps with our typical classic floats, low float or low market caps, maybe VCNX, but this one has a lot of sell volume on all the spikes. I don't know. Sometimes though, if you have a slow pre-market, you have a really nice open. So let's see what happens. NAK? No, NAK is the naked apparel company, no? Or are we talking about different? Yeah, naked brands. Wait a second, is totally different. Yeah, guys, thanks for the correction. I am totally wrong there. Hold on 1 second. Let me see what I looked up before, because now I'm actually just generally confused. But you guys are definitely right. I'm wrong here. Okay, so I must have typed in NAKE or something like that, because we traded NAKE before. Guys, thanks a lot for that correction. Really appreciate it. Legends. All right, let me fix some of this stuff up. Okay, so whew, what a ridiculous moment there. Okay, NAK gapping up about 25%. We have a 470 million float on this one. Wow, that was a serious mistake on my end. Not acceptable, but I guess we all make mistakes. This is a Canadian industrial metals and mining company. I would say I need a coffee, but I don't think a coffee right now is a good idea. Upcoming conferences. So I got the catalyst right. Upcoming conferences. I was going through some of the catalysts before. I can't believe I didn't connect the dots. I must have done it too fast. Sloppy work for me. Trump is supposed to approve the mine. You guys are saying the Trump tweet is the catalyst. I'm surprised that TD Ameritrade doesn't put that out there. Let me go ahead and try to find the tweet. Yeah. It's kind of crazy that he is tweeting stuff like this. All right, let's see both sides. Another 3.5 minutes here till the market opens. Wow, it's a big old picture of a salmon. Very shaky pre-market, Corey says. Look at this salmon picture, guys. This thing is an absolute beast. Okay, gotcha. Remember, guys, if you don't know what to trade, if you're not totally convinced about any one ticker, the best thing sometimes to do is just not trade at all. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes I don't trade for like the first 15, 30 minutes even sometimes. If I'm not totally convinced, if I don't have a good game plan, if I'm not in the flow. Obviously, the most important thing about trading and investing and growing your account is risk management in the end of the day. VCNX. I can't believe I made that mistake. That was such a drastic mistake. Such two totally different companies, and I didn't even recognize my mistake with the catalyst. USA Biotech here, VCNX. Very light volume though, but at least that is a 16 million market, 16 million float. That's really, really nice. While NAK has that 470 million float and SRNE has a 214 million float, which makes SRNE a little bit more interesting to me, and then VCNX actually kind of interesting as well. I like the collaboration. It's always a good catalyst. Another minute till the market opens with Merck. So for me, it's going to be a little bit of a pause off kind of morning so far. Let's see what happens. I think NAK is going to have some really, really interesting support right around 111. So that might be a good little dip zone. Maybe it's going to break past VWAP. Well, let's see what happens. Nice, probably has some of the more volume kind of piling up here. So that's good to see. Another 10 seconds. Good luck, everyone. We'll be a little bit more busy in the chat around 10:30. NAK selling off right away. Instantly hits 115 like we were talking about. Could be a little bit of a bounce zone. But remember, the catalyst is actually negative. It has a catalyst, but it's not necessarily a good one. If, you know, the president is against this mine, which we don't totally know yet, but apparently Trump Jr. is. VCNX, you're up 5%. SRNE with a pretty ferocious little dip here. I'm not sure if we're going to see a red to green. Maybe see some support around 10. That'd be about a 6% dip. If we get a break of 10, I would probably also be quite interested in trading that one. Here we go, possible break of 10. Gotcha, Aaron. So far, VCNX, not looking to trade it at the moment, but maybe we will. I'm still focused probably primarily SRNE with that FDA clearance, proceed phase 1 stage, coronavirus antibody. AAPL is all over the place. I feel like I'm all over the place today. But NAK dipping again here. Possible red to green so far on SRNE. Really nice dip off of 10. This is where we had a little bit more support come in. So this was a pretty solid double bottom plus multi-month support and resistance. Could have been an option to trade in this area, but well, it's about a 5% dip from the open. Wouldn't be surprised if it dipped a little bit more. Lead gappers, guys, today are really, really weak. Markets are red. No need to, you know, gun it for no reason. So my hands are kind of tied at the moment. I do like what I'm seeing with SRNE. Nice little bounce here off of 10. Nice call, Steven, on that. Just read your message. Hope you traded it. Yeah, markets are overall all red. Even crypto's down. VIX is up 8%. NAK has some bigger support around 112, I would probably argue. Looks like there's constantly some buyers popping up there. Looks like we had a bounce off of 110. Pretty strong bounce. SRNE pulling back right now. RIGL popping up again. They also have a drug launch actually for coronavirus. RIGL is a biotech, 170 million float though, quite big. Definitely not a small cap kind of day so far. Maybe we will see some small cap action a little bit later, but at the moment it's really just not looking too hot. So that one bounce off of 10 would have been the trade. Let's see what happens now. Volume today isn't super interesting on SRNE. It is up $250 million volume, which is pretty high, but since it's a $2.5 billion stock, it's not as relevant as it typically is. DKNG back to 50. Nice. So we had that break there at SRNE. Another 6% dip. We're down about 6.5 now from the highs. Usually I'd be quite excited about dip trading something like SRNE, but VCNX trying for red to green from Corey. Oh, VCNX tried that red to green, and then on the crack of VWAP, just absolutely ripped back down. That was a pretty mean move. That was like a 40 cents a share move, 7% down. Yeah, so today so far really isn't a day that at all is interesting. That's already what we were saying pre-market. So there's there's no shame or there's no stress or rush to trade anything if you're not totally on board with any of the setups. I think SRNE is probably getting us some of the cleaner dip buy entries at around $10. SRNE is a gold stock, by the way. It has had a long trend to the upside. To me, this is more of just a really, really strong dead cat bounce on the overall, I don't know, last few on the daily chart. This bounce does seem a little bit unwarranted. There was a lot of selling on VCNX on that last 2 candles ago. NAK had an okay little bounce there, but the percentages on this thing is tiny. It's not super interesting. Spreads are pretty large in terms of percentage return. Makes it a little bit uninteresting. Yeah, what a bit of a letdown. This is probably one of the slower opens, actually. Usually we'll have at least something to look at. SRNE. Maybe we'll just talk about large caps in a little bit and swing trades. I think SRNE is just a ticker I want to be a little bit more focused on here right now. So I'm going to pull this SRNE on the second chart and watch this one a little bit closer here. I think I probably could have got away with at least 1 or 2 decent little trades on this one. So maybe I should just be a bit more vigilant right now. GME or Moly. Possibly. Let's see if it pops up. I'm surprised this one hasn't popped up in my scanners yet. Interesting how GameStop is running up so much. It's been a pretty strong move too, especially for this size company. The XRT is actually looking pretty solid. A little bit lighter on the relative volume today. It's a bit of a red flag for sure. I do like this breakout and pullback kind of formation we're seeing on it. Haven't been the biggest fan myself to trade VXRT again. To me, this is just like kind of a backside move, always bouncing a bit. It's very light volume today, but you know, so definitely able to squeeze some profit out of it. VCNX really trying, yeah. I think SRNE is, to me, a little bit more interesting. It looks like it's going to have a 9 EMA breakout any moment. But I could also see this going the other way very easily. We know that $10 is big support on it. I'm going to probably wait for SRNE to maybe crack. I just not as optimistic on it. This is really the kind of moment for SRNE to possibly shine here with that big support around $10 right below it. You know, can we get back above it, or are we just going to keep selling off? I wouldn't be surprised if we had an attempted breakout and then it flushed right after that. So some like break to like 10.2 or 10.3 and then just absolutely get ripped back to the downside. It's kind of what I would expect, but okay, let's see. It's already selling off here, 990. Sell volumes is kind of light though on this one. Guess we could spend a little bit more time maybe talking about the DKNG and Snow IPO and stuff like that. But we'll see. Let's see. Let's stay optimistic here that maybe we're going to start seeing something. SRNE, look at that, caught itself. This is going to be 9 EMA possible breakout here. Let's see what we can get. Try to actually enter there, low 10s. Wanted a better entry, remove my order for now. I don't know, I think this is gonna flush. I don't really want to be part of it. It could break out higher, a little undecided. Don't really like how undecided I am about that. Usually I'm a little bit more conviction. Well, let's just keep watching it. We still got time, 9:43 a.m. here. Should be a nice move higher with big support right below it. 10.10. This looks pretty solid. Let's see what happens. Last candle was a nice big green candle. That's good to see that. It's a bit of a slow mover, SRNE. Those two candles were only like 2.7%. Typical small cap, you know, that could have been like a 10% move already. Yeah, I'm not wild about this one. I'd rather honestly buy SRNE on the next bigger dip. We know we have big support around 9. That's probably what I would be looking for. And then maybe even start trading it a little bit before then on other dips around 950 or like 960 or so. I don't know. Yeah, this could be the flush that I was a little bit nervous about. SRNE so slow. Yeah, man, it is really slow. VCNX, that US biotech with a 16 million flow with a collaboration with Merck to evaluate a drug, looks actually kind of interesting. A little bit of a bull flag here. We had a nice break of VWAP with decent volume. 4% moves. That pre-market high of around 7. I think VCNX could really be a bit more interesting. $7 zone is just absolutely critical at pre-market. There's the bull flag possibly breaking out right now. $6.4, $6.5, also a level worth watching here. You can kind of see the price right now is getting squeezed. Watch out with VXRT. Could just be a dead cat bounce, and I don't know. I wouldn't be super eager to trade that one. VCNX, nice little breakout here. I think this could be honestly one of our best small cap gappers right now. SRNE had a big flush, now down at 9.7. I would probably buy SRNE on a dip into the low 60s maybe. Could possibly milk it just a tad. Went to 67, bouncing a little bit, 1.2%. Yeah, I mean, you'd have to be a little scalpy right now with SRNE to make some profits. What's IBIO up to? 1 second, I'm already watching 2 tickers. If I watch anything else, I might just lose track of everything. Nice move on VCNX. Kind of a strong sell-off there. So really just might not be a day to trade small caps, honestly, guys. This is... I'm really unconvinced with the tickers we're looking at. So SRNE pulling back again. Possible SRNE move into the 50s. SRNE just selling off a lot here. 57 could be a nice little dip buy there. Went to 57, pulling back up. $9.60 SRNE. Yeah, could have been a possible dip buy there on that one, but it's very scalpy. I mean, it'd be hard to even get a base hit on it. You'd be looking for like a 1%, 1.5% would be a pretty decent move on SRNE right now. That's kind of making me hesitate. I'll pull up the XRT and see you guys talking about it. Yeah, it's kind of going. 9:50 a.m. here. Maybe we're going to start seeing something between, 10 and 10:30. That's when we keep my eyes open for, thinking about, what could be a good setup for that. Very light volume VXRT. Doesn't look like it has any catalyst. It's just a backside of a move here. It could be a bit of a short squeeze going on. But hey, I mean, it's moving, so traders are going to start looking at it. Be careful, though. This thing probably will flush at one point pretty strong. But yeah, VXRT is probably one of the more interesting ones to look at, as it's one of the few small caps that's actually trending in the right direction. Yeah, Corey, you and me both, man. Both of us I'm sure a lot of other people here too. There's nothing wrong with not trading, and I'm really, really not seeing anything. I don't know. I'm gonna give it a few minutes here. Maybe I'll see a good setup. I wouldn't trade VXRT right now. I'd wait for a 5-minute setup of some sort of bull flag or whatnot. SRNE missed that bounce, wanted to buy at 957, now at 980. So that could have been probably a nice little base hit, but I don't think I would have made, more than 1.5 or 2%. So would have had to take a pretty big position size for it to be worthwhile. The XRT will be interesting to see what happens at 9 for sure. Always these whole dollar zones are always pretty key for it. We've had a lot of support at 9 in the past, so I wouldn't be surprised if it did a bit of a flush. 1 AP Pro, man. We all know that feeling. All right, I'm going to give it a little bit. I'll be back in like a minute. All right, guys, we got another at least 30 minutes here, so let's see what we can find. VXRT, surprisingly here, one of our lead gappers on the day. It is a bigger ticker, so the fact that it has the most dollar volume isn't exactly surprising. What really is shocking to me is the fact that small caps have almost zero volume today, so that's really kind of telling of the overall market. I really like the move we're seeing here on DKNG, right back above 50 and into the 51 territory. I gotta say, it's actually making some really nice overall moves. Could be possible to day trade this one, actually. It's always a little bit trickier day trading a mid to large cap, though. But really nice bull flag here. Pull back to the 90 EMA, might have a continuation DKNG, so let's see what happens. All right, let's keep going through the list here. MLHR, another large cap. Not really something I want to be looking at. DKNG now back above 51.5. IBIO 2.5. Nice continuation. I know you guys were calling out this one quite a bit as well. Nice pullback here after this breakout. I gotta say that's probably one of the nicer setups we've seen today. A bit of a slow mover as well. I mean, don't want to go too crazy for no reason. VXRT had that new breakout 924 high. Oh yeah, SRNE broke back higher. Low expectations though for this ticker at the moment. I'm still watching SRNE, still one of my favorite tickers. Missed a bit of the red tick remove, and I missed the dip off of 9.57, so totally my fault on those missed moves, but at the same time, it's still one of the nicer movers. Nice little break there above that last shoulder. It's good to see that. Could be a quick pullback on SRNE right now at 957, 980 roughly, 997. We'll see. So far, not pulling back at all. SRNE, guys, could be a pullback. Still watching SRNE. Never ended up pulling back. Just kept on going. Lighter volume though. Don't really see this breaking VWAP just yet. Impressive move here. Houston says I'll be on SRNE all day long. Watch out, guys. Last time we were this close to VWAP, check out the last 2 times. There was some big flushes that happened. Let's see if this can break out. I feel like we've been inching our way to this breakout, so this is actually quite impressive here, what I'm seeing. No, I don't believe so, Tyler. GE yesterday. That's right, yeah. The 5-minute chart actually does look a little bit more promising. IBIO coming back here for a little bit of a retest. I wouldn't mind IBIO right around the break of 255. Maybe scooping some up in the 40s. I don't know if we're going to approach the 40s, to be honest. I really got to get used to how slow things are moving today because I just have higher expectations for so many tickers. SRNE is 100% looking like it's back in play here. Little Chrissy. That's really something that only you can answer yourself. Kind of like Eric's saying, you know, are you investing? Are you day trading it? Are you swing trading it? Is it in a Roth IRA? It's a really hard answer that no one else can really say. We'll talk about large caps and swing trades later after 10:30 roughly, but ultimately the decision is yours because there's so many different strategies and no one knows exactly what your strategy is. Wow, IBIO, look at that flush there. That was a pretty big one, pretty big dip. I don't really see this ticker dropping for no reason. I don't see any negative catalyst on it, so SRNE looks pretty healthy. Look, had a quick little pullback here to 23 roughly, and now it's back up again, 1%. Living large, trading floats over 100 million. Not really part of my day trading strategy, but occasionally we do it. We did it a lot in months with that. I think it was August. I think think it was in July. I think we did it quite a lot in July. We had a pretty good July, but we were seeing stocks with like, 150, 200 million floats running all over the place. I really like stocks under 50 million float and ideally under 10 million float. So that's why I'm always a little bit more hesitant trading these. If I wanted to do mid caps, I'm usually swing trading at that point. I don't really have any thoughts yet for how SRNE is going to play out for the day, but I do like the fact that it came in with a lot of volume here, so this looks actually pretty healthy. Yeah, big old order at 902. Who knows what's going on though? It's interesting to see that though. I wouldn't be surprised if SRNE had maybe a little bit of a dip here. It looks like the momentum is fading a little bit, and then it might continue its run to the upside. It is actually really kind of gaining back some momentum. Does look pretty solid. I don't know. No need to force anything that you don't understand either. IBIO having that dip into the 40s. There's no real interesting volume on IBIO today. I mean, it's one of the top 3 stocks right now in terms of gappers, but it doesn't have that much volume relatively. So, I don't know. Living large. That's how it goes. Sometimes you have hot days or hot streaks, and sometimes, there's a little bit of a lull. Typically, the lull is a bit more in the summertime, but, I was expecting that this time, September, we'd be getting a lot more hot streaks, but maybe it's because the overall market is a little bit overextended. People are focused on managing their large positions, their investments and whatnot, and less focused on the small caps, which could definitely be the case. Also, the catalysts we're getting today on the small cap world are just not that interesting. So it's a big reason I wouldn't really pay too much attention to them as well. SRNE had that dip that we were just talking about. 9 EMA on the 5-minute, really acting as a bit of support. This is an interesting spot for sure. Nice bounce on IBIO. SRNE, possibly another dip here. Such a slow mover though. SRNE selling off. Just got a little position on SRNE. Small trade here. Looking for SRNE to ideally move back above the 9 EMA. One more dip there, just did another size. About a $3,000 position size here on SRNE. Still dipping. Down 20. A little bit stronger sell volume than I was hoping for on this one. $10 acting as a little bit of support. Looks like we just cracked $10. I was looking for a little bit of a different setup here, so I'm gonna have to close this one for a bit of a small loss. Yeah, probably. You know, it was a decent trade. I don't really regret it. Let's see what happens here. Had the opportunity, but sell pressure was a little bit too high on this one. Let's see if we can get out of this one here on a little pop. 66, still sellers there. Whoops. All right, we close this one out. Actually, hold on, wait a second. That was such a weird close. Canceled sell. Let me see what happened here. SRNE, yeah, we're down a little bit on that one. That was a nice little pop back to the upside. So basically, right idea, wrong entry. The sell-off was a little bit stronger than I was expecting. Let me quickly make sure I have no open positions on that one. That somehow felt really weird. Yeah, okay, all good. Fighting back to 10-11. Corey's over there giggling around JE. Let me check out these stickers. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of a classic what we got here. Just Energy Group. We were actually trading this several times in the past. Looks like on all the spike days, no surprise there. Today's a bit of a spike day. Doesn't have nearly the volume. Had one big move and then just sold off. I wonder if it got halted. I'm not totally sure. Yeah, I don't know. People probably lost their house on JE. I mean, we actually made a video on JE not too long ago. They have a really rough long-term chart. You never want to obviously over allocate in any position. So SRNE, at my total size, I went about 10% of my overall day trading portfolio. But I'm not really risking 10% of my portfolio. I'm risking the amount of risk I want on that trade, right? Like worst case scenario, it goes down, gets halted, and offering comes out, and like maybe it goes down, gets split in half. I think that's like ultimately worst case scenario. Unless it instantly gets halted into investigation and your money's tied up for like a couple months. But that's very rare, and you typically know when something like that is happening. And then I avoid those stocks to begin with. So typically I'm trading my max risk, which is about starting between 4 and 8%. Then I have a max stop at 10% if everything goes wrong. So I'm kind of risking no more than 1% of my portfolio on any one trade. So you always want to manage your risk. And on a ticker like JE, I mean, holding blindly just does not make sense. I would day trade this one again, but I probably would not. Actually, I don't know if I would day trade it anymore, but I don't know. If we get spikes like the past with big relative volume on a catalyst and it's trading nicely, I would maybe trade it. But I don't like touching these stocks below $1 to begin with, so I probably avoid this ticker. Screams pump and dump. Yeah, Corey, you're absolutely right. That's a margin call stock. That's a lot of things on it that you don't want. Guys, it's really not a day where day trading is that nice today on small caps. There's really no way to say it besides that. I took a stab at SRNE. I probably could have took a stab earlier on that 9 EMA pullback. The best I could do is manage my risk on that last trade. I probably missed some dips on SRNE early on. I think that was probably my big mistake, being a little bit too pessimistic early on. But at the same time, I didn't feel like I was in a flow. I was a little bit airheady. You guys probably noticed I didn't even recognize that NA Key was a mining company. I thought it was a clothing company. So, like, if you're that far on the wrong side of the bed, like, might as well just take the day easy to not break anything. SRNE now back above 1010, looking okay. Some bigger sellers though. I don't know. I don't see myself trading this one just yet. Is KODK giving you guys FOMO? Let me look at it. Let me get some of this FOMO too. Bring it on, FOMO. KODK. I like the flag pattern here. This is actually looking really clean. This is like one of the more clean kind of moves we're having. Look at that. Almost a perfect pullback as well, then a continuation. Really, really sweet stuff here. Why is KODK up so much today? Very low volume, inside candle. Fed leaves interest rates unchanged. They investigated, no insider trading, calm down, says. SRNE back at 1015. Could have been a hold, could have averaged down in that area. Not the worst idea and something I do from time to time, but typically in a hotter market where I have a little bit more conviction behind a trade. Or in Kodak's case, calm down. What goes down must go up, because this thing went down so much. It was only a matter of time till it was going to have some sort of bottom bounces. Slow day. Thanks, Kingship. Look at that KODK flash. Oh my god, I am so not into day trading today. I really wanted to. When I sat down on the computer at 6:50 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I was like, woo, let's go, man. Yesterday was a whipping good day. We got some okay momentum, but it was like clean. So we were able to day trade it really, really nicely. Had a really good green profit yesterday. Today I was like, come on, at least the second day. But just absolutely disappointed in what we're seeing so far. Maybe we're still going to get something. We're pretty much day trading mid to large caps at the moment. Small caps have pretty much zero volume besides VCNX, which is pretty much pinned here at 17% up on the day. SRNE might crack back above VWAP. This one could be the most interesting one still. I don't know. Drop a like, guys, if you're interested and if you're ready to go to talk about swing trades and whatnot and large caps, because I think I might just be ready for that. Smash it into non-existent. Whoa, we're gonna need the button tomorrow, all right? All right. Nice move back on KODK. Oh, Matt, poor guy. Who knows what happened? Okay, so DKNG back here at 53.3. I don't know if I am just extremely lucky that I'm not in, this thing didn't sell off anymore or what. I don't know, and I also don't know if I got maybe too greedy and I didn't sell at 53 yesterday. But I try to explain why I didn't, because we're up 30% on DKNG. So why would I still be holding DKNG if we're up so much? Well, the truth is we had a really nice volume breakout, and then we had kind of a pretty kind of aggressive candle here, but the next day was a big green continuation. I actually really like that, and it looked like it was holding its highs very well as well. And even though the markets are red, this thing is still holding its highs pretty well here. And I was expecting that we would see a 9 EMA retest, so I was not nervous in the 50s. But when we broke the 50s pre-market, we were in the 48s for a little bit down here. I was kind of like, okay, well, I guess I probably did get a little bit greedy. But at the same time, I felt like this ticker, based on the Michael Jordan contract, based on the whole overall, what was that other news? Wow, I'm so spacey today. I just my brain is not here today. But there's been a lot of positive catalysts going for DKNG, just a lot of deals, larger companies coming on board, collaborations. And then, online gaming, online betting is a massive industry. I think people are learning more and more about it and kind of waking up to the fact that the gaming industry is bigger than all NFL, right? So it's you have a company like DKNG, DraftKings, that is, really setting itself up for being a major player in this space. And I felt like this breakout at 44 was just the beginning of the run. And that's why I was a little bit more lenient on letting this one run. Now, the market is selling off. I think the market was at an overall high. I don't really feel as comfortable holding this one, especially after a bit of a crack of momentum. I'm sure that sometimes freaks a lot of people out. Did we hit a high already? Now we're selling off again? Maybe. It's really hard for me to say. It's always a little bit more tricky with the small caps, right? Because you're always like, how should I go about trading one of these? I mean, the large caps. If you zoom too much in, you start focusing too much on the intraday. And when I do that, then to me, it's more like day trading. So I always try to take a bit more of a, bird's eye view on a ticker like this. It's a little bit tricky at times. I feel like if I wanted to, I could probably hold this one for a few weeks or maybe a few months, and then maybe it's going to run past 55, maybe it's going to run past 60, right? I could see this being a good investment as well. But ultimately, we're doing a swing trade right now, and I'm definitely in take profit zones. So I really got to think how I want to keep, trading this one, or not trading this one. Really is the thing. So with a big candle like this, with low volume, kind of tells me it doesn't take a lot of buyers to really shoot this thing back up, right? Which is kind of a good sign. I mean, these aren't really breakout zones at the moment. I mean, technically everything's a new high, but it's not one of these key breakout zones of 44. We had that last pre-market high long time ago, right, in this area, or 45, that needs a lot of volume to break through a wall of sellers, right? Right now, it's a lot of people just kind of jumping onto the wagon at this point, trying to catch the train. So my goal originally was to take profits before 55, as I think kind of that is going to be a psychological zone. And I still think I kind of want to, see what happens today before I readjust that theory. So we'll see. The New York Giants deal, Eric says, with DraftKings. Brent says DKNG is so strong, don't sell it too soon. I gotta say though, selling it right now, I don't think would be, for my trade, selling it too soon. We had an entry here at 40.9. We did it on the live stream. last week, I think it was, or was it Monday? I kind of forgot. And, you know, we're technically up like 30%. So that's quite a bit for a swing trade. So I'm not totally sure if I'd be selling it too soon. What I would actually really like to do on DKNG, which I feel like I try to do on AMD, is, you know, take profit and then buy on the pullback and ride the second wave to the upside. The problem was AMD never had the pullback. It just kept on flying. So you don't oftentimes see those really, really strong moves. Let me actually pull up AMD. This was such a strong move. So I think when we broke I forgot what it was. We broke the 60, and I was way too conservative on this one. I thought we were going to, like, you know, go back a little bit further here to the, like, I don't know, 55 or something like that. Never did it. We had a pullback here. This wasn't the territory I was talking about. I think this one, the break of 65 or something like that, where this thing just kept on flying. I guess, you know, we did have actually a pretty good pullback to around 60 or 59. So this would have been a good entry. So waiting for the breakout, buying the pullback, and then surfing the continuation, right? So where are we on that with DKNG? You know, that's kind of the question. Yeah, really, really hard to say. Yeah, so AMD, Amazon, Apple, Tesla, those are all great tickers. I'm not a huge fan of swing trading them, but I really like putting them blindly into my investment portfolio and buying any large sell-off. I think that's how I would treat a lot of these tickers. I find them a little bit more tricky to day trade, swing trade, but I gotta say this breakout here, you know, at 60, that pullback is actually just about picture perfect. So that was a bit of missed opportunity on my end. All right, Brad, man, take care. Don't forget to stop by tomorrow. Ciao, ciao. The XRT again here. Look at SRNE trying to make some moves again. Let me check out MRHR. So EBON, I think got halted. Some volume literally just came into this one. I don't really understand this ticker. Oftentimes when I don't understand a ticker, especially when it has such low volume, I just avoid it because, you know, this thing could go from 12 to, you know, 10 again just as fast, get halted on the way down. And with bigger position sizes, it's very, very hard to consistently make profit on a ticker like this. So when I see something like EBON, I'm like, yeah, you know, you can get lucky and make a lot of money, but you could get just as unlucky and lose a lot of money, and it's just not something you can consistently do. It's not as sustainable trading strategy in my eyes. Maybe it is. Maybe someone mastered trading a light volume ticker like EBON, but when I look at it, I'm just like, no thanks. I don't know. MLHR, really, really nice kind of breakout continuations here. Pretty decent volume on the day. Again, mid large cap here, $2 billion company. Adjust Herman Miller's price from 50 to 33, regains buy rating, or reiterates buy rating. The rise of home office. Herman Miller, what did they do? MLHR. Their ticker is like backwards. It's like Miller Herman. Business equipment and supplies. I guess that makes sense with a catalyst like rise of the home office, and the ticker like MLHR is up. 58 million float, $1.5 billion company. So they beat Q1 earnings results. So they have good earnings. That's always that's typically a really, really good catalyst. It's a very sustainable catalyst. I wasn't paying too much attention to MLHR, to be honest, at first because of the price target. I'm always looking for those stocks between $2 and $7. Honestly, guys, I'm sure a lot of you already know this in here, but for anyone that's new, I look for stocks pretty strictly that fit my criteria. And those are my bread and butter that I really like to day trade. And when something's outside of my criteria, I typically tend to avoid it a little bit, just because it trades so differently. And I'm really, really used to trading certain things. So if something's like totally out of my, sweet spot, then I'll think, okay, well, if it's a great company or something like that, maybe I'll invest into it, or maybe I'll swing trade it. But that's no longer day trading. So I wasn't really looking for something like MLHR to actually day trade. Ends up, since today was such a whack day trading small cap day, MLHR actually, has a really, really nice catalyst, has a strong upwards trend. This one, we could have actually ended up probably making a little bit of money on. So yeah, got to be a little bit more open-minded in times like this. Or you just, say, today's just not the day for it, and that's fine as well. You don't want to try to do too many things as a trader, because that's almost a guaranteed way to drop the ball on everything, right? You want to be kind of laser focused as a day trader. So a little bit of a tangent there, but trying to give a little bit of reasoning behind why I didn't really trade today. VXRT selling off. Yeah, so MLHR, this could be a really, really nice ticker. I have swing trading, my swing trading strategy does really not involve buying stocks at all-time highs. My swing trading strategy is a fairly conservative strategy where I'm either buying pullbacks back to support, or I'm buying like initial retests of support. It's a pretty good, I would say, risk-reward strategy. I also apply it to trading cryptos. So I don't see myself, entering a swing trade on MLHR at these zones. Oftentimes when a stock is up this much, just like you saw with Tesla, they'll come out with an offering, they'll take advantage of these high stock prices, and then they'll sell new shares into the market, dumping the stock price. And that's just not a fun place to be. So not something for me. Kind of seems like there's this really interesting support zone somewhere here in like 29 or 35 or something like that. Definitely worth looking into. We got again here something. Big support at 30. I think if I wanted to invest in MLHR or a swing traded, I would look for at least a retrace back to VWAP. I don't know if we're going to go much below VWAP. If we go below VWAP, I don't know if we would go much below like 3150 or so. So that would be probably my possible entry for a continuation into a swing trader investment. But MLHR, I'm not going to be day trading this one. SRNE just sold off. A little bit of a dip there, back to $10. What a day. What a day. PPCB exploding. I don't see that one on my list yet. Maybe it just popped up. If you guys want to know my criteria, you want to know about my day trading strategy, don't forget to check the first link in the video description below. I have a foundation video series that goes all over that nit and gritty. So just check out that link and you'll see all the information you need to know. Just follow the links to the foundation video series. Yeah, those Chinese education platform stocks were just absolutely insane. I tripled my position on RKT swing yesterday. Nice, Bren. RKT was quite a sweet one. Let's go back here to RKT. We still have actually our position here at $20. We had that initial buy here at 1854. This was actually a pretty sweet trade. I ended up taking my profits probably a little bit too soon, but I knew $20 was big resistance, so I was pretty okay with taking profits there. We actually ended up having a big breakout here, 40%, so I missed out on a lot of upside. What I could have done was maybe try to buy one of these retests here back at like 26 or so, but I never ended up doing that again. What I did do, I bought the pullback here at 20, and then I sold right on the rip. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if we get another test on RKT, Quick Rocket Company, like Quicken Loans and stuff. By Biz Manager. So we'll see. Let's go through some of these other tickers we're looking at. Let me close these small cap movers for the day and open the gross swings. Get a little bit more focused here. I'm still a little bit airheady right now. Looks like even Tesla pulled back a lot. You know, Tesla was down like 7% pre-market. They were absolutely getting destroyed pre-market. So this thing's been bouncing. This is why small caps aren't moving today. I mean, Tesla had a 7% move. This is insane. What we're seeing here is just kind of ridiculous. So like no surprise on my end. And the reason is, think about you as a day trader maybe 5 years into the future. You have maybe an account with $1 million, $2, $3 million. Trading small caps, sometimes you kind of have those max position size limits of, let's say, $50,000 or $100,000, or sometimes $150,000. I think the most position size I even saw Ross take was like $200 something thousand on a small cap. And at that point, you gotta, enter with a few chunks. You might be moving the price a little bit too much, so you can get stuck in some bad positions. But if you're trading something like Tesla, you could, dump $500 million into the stock without really affecting the stock price too much. So if you see large caps moving like they're moving today, you're gonna be like, okay, well, let me stop focusing on small caps today. Let me focus a little bit more on these large caps, and let me trade these large caps. So that's probably what I should have done today. I'm not that, I would say, agile yet or nimble yet switching around. That's probably something that I'll get better at in the future, and I'm not ashamed to say that I'm not good at it yet, because that's what learning is all about. But yeah, Tesla, I mean, you could tell day traders are looking at this. I mean, this is like perfect red to green, pull back here, consolidation with a nice bull flag. We have a breakout, pull back, breakout, pull back, breakout, pull back, and then here it goes a little bit exponential, has a little bit of a blow off top, and then it sells off. So like really, really clean stuff on large caps. This is really stuff you don't see all the time. Beautiful exposition. Thanks, calm down. Yeah, that's true too, wild boy. Looks like the market rebounded pretty strongly though already. Let's go back to DKNG just to kind of watch this one, thinking about where I want to close out. I'm still like actively thinking in my brain where that ticker is going to be the sweet spot. But if I look at it too much, I might do something foolish as well. Yeah, so DKNG overall up 750. Solid breakout. I would really like to see DKNG have a breakout, a solid breakout attempt at 53 again. Looks like we just hit that former high zone. So it looks like at 53 something, there's just a lot of sellers that we need to try to break through. I think if we could break through 53, whatnot, I think it'll be a really, really good runner. But I feel like just chilling in this area is also not really what I would want to be doing. I think there's quite a lot of downside risk, and I would actually really enjoy rebuying DKNG back below 50, so we might actually see something like that at one point today. You can see we had a top here, sell volume really kicked in. We had a nice little move here, weren't able to make a new high, so that's actually quite a bearish thing. I think my possible upside potential is, I don't know, maybe 2% or so. Maybe, so I'd be looking for like another 2-3% profit, but right now, even a pullback to 50, you know, that's a 5% loss. So at this point, it's no longer a good risk reward trade, and I just have to be a little bit more probably realistic with myself and kind of acknowledge and accept that. So yeah, buying back DKNG at a later point would probably be the way to go on this ticker. Looks like I talked a little bit too much because it saw me placing a possible limit order and then just goes down $30. That's just how it goes sometimes. $52.57 was just the short-term low there. Let's see if we can get a little bit crack higher here. A retest would be anywhere in the 75 zones. I don't know if we're going to see that. This is like one of those classic moments that like you're right up before you sell the stock, it just starts ripping up again or ripping down. This would actually be a really good time to test the TOS ladder. Let's see if they fix their issue a little bit. Ooh, look at SRNE kind of having a little bounce there with some volume coming back in. Oh, I just realized I'm in the wrong account. Trying to close this SRNE position here at 560. Maybe we could even get 69 out of it. Come on, nope, didn't work. 557. Missed it again. Playing with sense here. Oh, it is always kind of fun to see what you can squeeze out of it. So yeah, okay, so we're gonna close the DKNG position for all the points that I just explained below. Unfortunately, I took a little bit too long talking, and it looks like I gave back actually like 50 bucks pretty much when I was talking. But that's just how it goes. We're still walking away with about $700 profit, so that's not too bad. Let's see if we can get one more little pop back here to the upside. Yeah, so one thing to consider is right now DKNG is technically in a short-term downtrend, right? We broke the 9 EMA, now we're trending back to the downside with 9 EMA acting as current resistance. So always good to kind of acknowledge that, where the resistance is, where the support is. Let's see, we could be getting out of this trade right now. Boom, there we go at 57, back to 59. So boom, okay, there we go. We closed our DKNG position. I'm sorry, Bren, I had to sell it. It only made logical sense. That's, yeah, that is what it is. Did I leave money on the table with DKNG? Probably. Am I up 30% on DKNG? Yes. So I'm really happy about that. And you can never really regret taking profits. It's the way to go. My best days with day trading are actually when I take pretty much base hits. It's very rare that just like one big trade is the one I make all of my money on. So always keep that in mind. What I'm going to be looking on for DKNG is ideally a second entry. I would really like to buy this on some sort of pullback. So I'm going to be keeping an eye out for DKNG. I have an alert here if we go break below 48 and then something in between like 44 or something like that. I would love to jump on this one. So let's keep an eye out for this one. I don't think I'm going to place a limit order just yet, but yeah. Calm down every time I place an order on Ameritrade, Coinbase immediately drops. Nice, calm down. 35K profit on SRNE. That's freaking ridiculous. How long were you holding that swing trade? Calm down says, is it weird to write a song about your ex-girlfriend and make a big budget video about it? Is it wrong? Probably not. Happens all the time. Kingship says, just sell it and rebuy it. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. I feel like I can get in a second entry on DKNG at a lower price. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Whatever, it happens. So if we go down, just like Tesla, I mean, I also sold that one way too soon, but I don't really regret it because oftentimes when I don't sell a stock too soon, it sells off and I'm like, oh, I wish I, took profits. Or yesterday, if I'd sold DKNG at 53, I could have bought it back pre-market today at 48. Think about that, right? So that would have been a good way to trade it. The only problem is right now with a cash account, you're always kind of stuck a little bit, trying to think, ooh, how am I gonna, weasel my way around with a cash account? Because you always have those 2 days holding period. So that's probably the most annoying part. So from the high, we're down here like 1.5%, not really too bad. Daniel's wondering, sorry, I'm just reading a lot of these messages. Daniel is wondering, how did I get my initial training? Honestly, a lot of research, a lot of trial and error, a lot of back holdings, following a lot of other traders, listening to too much stuff, realizing that you need to focus on one thing at one point, getting really, really focused, and just doing it every day. Just a lot of baby steps. And remember to review your past trades. It's so, so important to review your past trades. I think it's like one of the best things you can do to improve your trading. Look at that. We could have sold at 69, guys. I think all streams are a little delayed. Sorry, I just scrolled up on all the comments and I was like trying to read everything that I missed because I think I was too focused on DKNG for a second. Happy to hear, Sky. Thanks for that, man. I gotta say, DKNG had a nice little volume candle. This could be a little attempted breakout. Maybe it's gonna have a 90 EMA pullback, and maybe it's gonna have a continuation here. These are all maybes. I'm still happy I took my profits. We have this shoulder here at 53.19 to break higher. I'm still thinking that we're gonna see 55. But at this point in time, I feel like if we don't, we're gonna crash back below 50, and I would be taking anyway profits close to 54. So we're pretty much near my profit taking zone. So at that, it's like a negative risk reward. And that's why I closed it for this like last little adjustment. If my goal was to hold it as an investment to like $60, $70, or like see how it goes in a year, that's a whole different trading strategy. I just want to kind of highlight that. I'm not investing in DKNG, I'm just swing trading it. That's why I took my profits. $30K on Apple. What are my thoughts? It's a good question. So Apple had also a bit of a sell off this morning. Oops, I just clicked on American Airlines. Where's AAPL? There it is. A little bit of a sell-off pre-market. I don't see myself adding to my Apple position just yet. I still feel like the whole overall market is going to sell off, and the market is a little bit of Apple and Tesla and some of these larger companies. So I would probably buy Apple and Tesla and AMD in the next big red sell-off. So let's say we have another one of these big dips here. So this dip was 7-8%. So let's say we have another dip, 7-8%. That would bring us slightly below 320. I would start buying probably more positions when the SPY is under 320, and then I would fill up with Apple and whatnot. Apple, Tesla, and all those companies, they just started a downwards trend, right? This is a big crack of momentum. This isn't really a classic bear flag. This is a bit more of like, I don't know, it looks like a triple bottom here maybe, and maybe it will reverse, but at the same time, I don't really see myself going long on Apple or Tesla or anything right now. It's also a bit of a descending channel. Descending channels actually do tend to break to the upside, but that's just all based on statistics. So a confirmation on a breakdown would look like something like a breakdown like this, and then obviously move a little bit further into Neverland. So that's probably what I would expect with Apple. But if it does crack here, maybe it's going to be a huge volume break at the same time. I don't know. Invest, honestly, I don't even really like to put too much price action on large caps because I feel like they're very hard to predict. So I think the easiest thing you could do is just draw out some very key support and resistance zones. If Apple gets closer to $100, you know, at least even if it dips $100, start accumulating under $100. It's a key psychological zone, and you're going to be super stoked that you have Apple under $100. Are we going to dip below $100? I don't know, but I still think that would be kind of like a cool place to maybe start accumulating, and that's probably how I would go about it. If I miss the opportunity, and I oftentimes do miss the opportunities because I'm too conservative in that aspect, so be it, whatever. Because, you know, this thing could drip under 100 and then go all the way to 90 based on the 180-day moving average trend, which seems to always kind of retest every now and then. So it probably wouldn't hurt to wait. Is in the stash app. I think the hardest part with these large caps is like just not FOMOing into a big green day when, you know, there's like, it's probably be much harder to buy on one of these bigger pullbacks here below you know, 100, you're back into the 90s and you're like, oh, Apple's going down. But actually what this is, and any of these pullbacks are just, you know, pullbacks to retest support and continue moving to the upside. In all these, you know, we are above the 90 EMA. This is a healthy upwards trend. So right now we're actually significantly below it for several days. Something like in these zones. So I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if Apple pulled back. And that's really how I feel about most large caps right now. I don't have that conviction that the market's going to go higher lately. So I don't know. My paws are tied with a lot of these things. Ooh, talking about, I know we're not talking about too many swing trades right now, but SNOW. Who traded SNOW yesterday? This thing was absolutely crazy. I was not trading it, but I sure as heck was watching it for a little bit. Sky, yeah, I'm live every day starting at, or pretty much we're live every day starting at 9:15. Honestly, the community is absolutely amazing, and it's it's where I get a lot of good ideas from, and yeah, I really like it. And if you want to have a little bit more chill time, check out pre-market. We start the live stream at like 7 a.m. Well, we don't start the live stream. We start the chat room, and we always talk about what's going on pre-market. We actually do a majority of my trading lately. Look at that, 11% bounce off of here. Come down says pause because Alex is an animal. That's funny. Sky bought Snow long term. I actually was thinking about buying SNOW today. I'm actually kind of upset that I didn't now. That was a really, really nice bounce. DKNG back at 53, so I guess I sold it too soon. Oh well. 12% move, yeah, super serious. Honestly, guys, next time we have a day like this and there's no small caps, can you guys remind me to start trading large caps? Because every large cap today had some beautiful moves. Even Snow. I mean, these are like perfect pullbacks right at VWAP. This is like the big money maker right here, 4% move. I mean, that could have been like a $200 profit right there alone. Wow, that last candle on SRNE was quite something, huh? Yeah, Jared, I totally feel you on that. I was also thinking like Snow, it seems so like it's such a competitive space, and I actually don't know what gives Snow its competitive advantage. Is it because it bundles a lot of the online providers into like one platform? I have yet to really fully understand Snow's marketplace, but apparently there has to be a big need for Snow, otherwise it wouldn't exist. So Warren Buffett's a big investor. It's a record-breaking IPO, 3.4 billion. It's been multiple times oversubscribed, which is a very bullish sign. It means so many investors wanted to get in before the IPO that they constantly increase the price of the IPO. That's exactly the opposite of what happened with RKT. Yeah, Brent, 100%. I clearly have more to learn on this ticker. Eric says the way that it can scale its cost to the customer is much more flexible than its peers. DKNG new high. I saw that. 53.5, really sweet. So yeah, I don't know. How do we want to go about this one? Not entirely sure. I'm talking about SNOW. This is actually a nice move on SRNE. I'm not totally sure why SRNE is moving right now. Did he get some new news about it? Let's see, claims. 15, 5 hours back, 10 o'clock new. No new news. I like what we're seeing here. This is a pretty snazzy little pullback for sure. I'd be looking for a continuation from here. New minute in 5 seconds. Let's see what happens. I for me, support is oftentimes where there was former resistance, a breakout, and a retest sometime in the history. I would start on a weekly chart and then move to a daily chart. And then if you're somehow missing something, sometimes I use a 4-hour chart. That's how I do my support and resistance lines. And I just do the horizontal lines. NAK at 118. This could be a sweet pullback here on SRNE. Let's see if this breaks out. It's got to get past 2. What was that high there of that last candle? Like 2. Whoops. Like 227. Let's see if we can break past that zone. That's the big resistance area. 227 was just literally touched and went back down. Could be loading up here, 222. This is the launch pad. Let's see what happens. 222, 224. I would have probably got chopped out here. This is why I don't trade after 10:30. Yeah, this is a pretty classic flag pattern. I mean, it's a little bit delayed. It's also a large cap, so they're not as, well, more like a mid cap, so they're a little bit slower, big float, more churn. These tickers will never be as clean as like our south of 10 million float stocks. So whenever I trade large caps, I always try to get those extra dips. I always try to be extra conservative with my entries. Really, really look for those bigger pullbacks. Nice. There we go. A little breakout here, 10:30. Not too bad. Just so slow. I probably would have got faked out. Who knows where I would have bought. If I tried to buy a breakout or chase an entry, I'd be getting a bad entry. Then all of a sudden it pulls back. Then I'm like, oh, it's not breaking out. Then I, take a scratch on it. Just not a ticker I typically would want to be trading. SRNE, Logan out. We'll definitely be reviewing much more swing trades tomorrow. I think today, just an overall sell-off day and in the large cap, so boom, we would have just actually got out of DKNG. I think my position would have just been closed. I think I had my sell order at 5.454.2. So yeah, looks like we closed just a tad bit too early. So yeah, left about 3% on the table, which with our position size was maybe like $100 or so. But right now I would be out of the trade. Right, that's where I had my original sell order. So I pretty much moved it down when we didn't break the high of this last breakout zone. So yeah, we missed out on a little bit of profit, but really, really overall a phenomenal trade. I'm super happy about this one. Yeah, maybe we'll do a re-entry with DKNG then sometime in the future. Nice, welcome Logan. NAK, bigger support at 109 like we talked about before, 110. That's always kind of been the critical zone on this ticker. Sell volume really selling off here, or just overall volume. So far it's still trending under VWAP. A lot of red flags. Down 25% from pre-market highs. That's actually not that bad. That's actually better than I would have thought. We also had a low here, and this low is higher. So that's actually kind of a bullish sign as well. I really don't like the volume on this one. I don't really like the catalyst. I don't know. I'm not going to be day trading this one, and I'm probably not going to be investing in it either or swing trading it. There's nothing wrong, Kingship. Taking profits is all good. I'm like pretty numb now to seeing a stock go up, and I just sold. It doesn't really bother me at all because I know over the long term it's the right decision. There's nothing worse than being up on a trade, you know, a couple percent, 5, 10% or something like that, and then closing for a loss. It's happened to me one too many times, and I will never regret taking profits. And this is much more than a base hit already, so it's a huge win as it is. All right, guys, I think that's everything for this video. I got to run. It's now past 11 o'clock. And also, I want to probably make a video today a little bit about snow, talking about what I would be looking for a snow trade. There's a few kind of technicals that I want to review, some fundamentals. So I'm going to be focusing on that for the review for today's video. Calm Down says no. I know, I almost don't even really want to wrap up, but actually I got to. You only lose money when you sell in the red. That's one way to put it. Go surf. I will probably at one point. This morning was absolutely wicked. It was such a good session, but it was really short. I was only out for like 45 minutes, or maybe even less. All right, guys. Until next time, then. Don't forget to drop a like on the way out. I really do appreciate it. Consider subscribing if you're new here, especially if you want to check out that video later today on snow. And yeah, guys, slightly red day, but overall green week. Nice to hear. Hey, Shirkan, Life says got burnt this week, lost $600 today. Ah, man. Try not to let that influence you tomorrow. It's hard for it not to. I know my losses always influence me, but try to get back, man. That's always stressful. Just have to duck under the cautious tape. That's funny, calm down. The Buscus is back. Nice to see you. All right, Sky, take care. Take care, calm down. Take care, everyone. Logan, David, cheers. Till tomorrow then, and till today's recap. See you guys there. Ciao, ciao.